you. Commissioner Rice.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So I've been in elected office for 13 years, and over that time frame, I've never seen a perfect bill, nor have I seen a perfect policy. They don't exist. But what I do believe is that we have great policies and great bills that help to move us forward and certainly answer the clarion call of how we can make our society better, which is what all of us do when we raise our hand and we swear to uphold the Constitution and to do everything we can to make our lives better for our constituents. And when our constituents ask us to do more, I want to answer Secretary Brinkley, because you said, what do we get from Kirwan? We get so many things. When I first joined the legislature in 2006, the reason why I ran for office is based on education. My mother being a teacher and then principal in special education, who was university provost at Gallaudet University, I grew up in an education space, and I knew that education was the most important function of government. Education is the hub of which all of our problems and our successes center around. So I will answer that question for you, that if you care about crime, you should care about education. If you care about economic development, you should care about education. If you care about healthcare disparities, you should care about education. If you care about making sure that people in society can get help when it comes to mental health issues and all the things that are out there, you should care about education. If you care about people who are down on their luck, people who just been dealt a bad hand, you should care about education. There is nothing that we touch in government that is not linked to education. It is the reason why these recommendations are so important. I've had the opportunity now to travel across the United States talking about these recommendations. And everywhere I go, when I tell people about what it is that we're embarking on, they're floored. They're floored because a local jurisdiction has committed, a state has committed to saying that we really want to revamp what it is that we're doing. They called it the Massachusetts Miracle. Miracles should not be taken lightly as a light word. It's something that really meant about saving people's lives. We have far too many kids, and I know, Secretary Brinkley, you see them in our communities who die each and every day because they were denied the opportunity to quality education, didn't feel as though this world was doing something for them. That's what this policy represents. That's what we can accomplish as a result of changing a paradigm for future generations in terms of their belief that this world offers nothing for them. That's what this Kirwan Commission means to people. And I can tell you that the people that I talk to who have said that, wait, you're doing this for me, understand how important they truly are. So I just want to talk very quickly about some reservations that I do have, Mr. Chair, because again, this is incredibly important for me. Because I find myself torn as a person who swore that I would make sure that I, in true fidelity, said we wouldn't pit jurisdictions against each other, where MACO still has issues, where some of my counties and some of my rural jurisdictions continue to have questions that remain unanswered about whether or not they are actually going to achieve fair funding, whether or not they're going to have the information that's necessary to them to understand where their responsibilities lie from a funding perspective, whether or not there's going to be flexible for local jurisdictions to use resources under the premises of Kirwan, but also with targeted approaches that make sense for them as local jurisdictions. Well, while I think that all of those are questions that need to be answered, I understand that they all can't be answered by us. The General Assembly plays a role, and as a person who served here in Annapolis for 4 years, I certainly understand that they have now the charge, once this is done, to make some of those things right. And so my vote of yes is not just a simple yes in saying that everything is right, but yes in the assumption that there still will be things that will be fixed. As one of your largest jurisdictions, putting on my Montgomery County hat for a moment, there's still a lot of questions about affordability and about where we understand some of the flexibility lies in terms of how we spend our money, now currently addressing some of these issues that are laid out via Kirwan, and those affect a lot of our large jurisdictions throughout the state as well. There's a huge price tag that's associated, and we certainly want to make sure that funding is fair to local jurisdictions, understanding that the state continues to have the responsibility to play the majority role when it comes to educating our kids. And so from that perspective, I certainly understand my colleagues who may have concerns when it comes to these questions that remain unanswered. And while I cast my yes vote, I certainly do not look down upon my colleagues nor have concerns about their raising of issues that are certainly still out there and remain unanswered. And so I just want to say thank you to you, Mr. Chair. Thank you to Rachel. Thank you to each and every one of you as commissioners, because this means a lot to me. This is personal. I've, again, lived my whole life about trying to make a difference when it comes to education. And now I have a chance to do that and to actually cast a vote about something that means something to me at the core. It's personal. And so from that perspective, I just want to thank you again for your leadership in putting us in a direction that I know is going to make a tremendous difference in the lives of so many children and so many future generations here in the state of Maryland. Thank you, Mr. Chair.